What's up, everybody? We are live. This is a special podcast today. We're going to try to do this, on the regular. This is not a UFC podcast. We'll be back for that next week. We have a fancy football podcast today. It is the first fucking regular Sunday of the season. And we'll be talking about who we think's going to go off today, who we have in our fancy teams, who we think's going to go off on the year, sleepers, all that shit. Kelton, you ready for this?
Yeah, man, I'm so fucking excited. This is the most excited I've ever been for an NFL season. I'm breaking my cherry for fantasy football. So, man, it's a lot of fun. The first week hasn't even really been underway yet, and I've already learned so much. And I'm already looking forward to next season.
Yeah, man, this is really freaking like this fantasy football is one of the best things in the world, man. I mean, I'm on 7 money leagues. Anyone that wants to ask any questions, I mean, ask them, we'll answer them. This is just a podcast about fantasy football strictly. We're so excited. Let's talk about one thing real quick. Kenny Galladay's not playing. He was one of my biggest breakout season players this year. It sucks he's not playing. I have him on 3 teams, so had to the last minute had to put in. I put in Boston Scott on one of my teams because I mean Miles Sanders isn't playing, so I think he's going to go off. But I'm a little curious. I'm a little iffy there because the Eagles' starting left tackle is not playing, so I don't know how their offensive line is going to look. And I mean Carson Wentz is kind of iffy, anyways. So um, I don't know. What do you think about that, man? What do you think about Boston Scott?
About Boston Scott, I definitely think Boston Scott's going to have a great game today. If I actually had him on any of my fantasy teams, I would definitely be open to playing him. I think I got him on a few best ball teams actually, so maybe that might look good. But Galladay hurts, man. I had him in, I can't remember which league. I think it might be my league, honestly. I had to switch him out for Christian Kirk. Super high on Galladay, man, just like you. I had him ranked in my, I think I had him like 7th or 8th, like overall for wide receivers. But you know what that means, man? Marvin Jones is going to go off for the Detroit Lions today, and I got him in about 80% of my DraftKings lineups. And I wish I had him in fantasy.
Marvin Jones going to go off, but I don't know. I'm a little iffy with Stafford, man. I have Stafford, but I mean the Bears defense is good, and this is Stafford's first game back from that really bad injury last year. So I have Stafford on a couple teams, but personally, I'm sitting him. I'm playing Josh Allen. Josh Allen is a quarterback that I'm really high on. I think that he's going to go off this year. A lot of people talk crap about him and say that he can't throw the ball. I think he has a good arm. I think that he can rush. And I think with Diggs, I only
Yep.
think his stock's going to be higher up. Diggs is one of the best wide receivers in the league. And I'm a Vikings fan, so I'm biased. But let's be honest, he did not want to be there. He hated Kirk Cousins. Do I blame him? No, I hate Kirk Cousins too. But, I'm a Vikings fan. I got to stick it out. But, yeah, Josh Allen's a quarterback I'm high on. Kelton, give us some quarterbacks you're high on this year, man, for fantasy.
Just to go back, you were talking about Matt Stafford there for a second. I actually dug into some stats. He kills it on week 1 almost every single year. So I put him in a couple DraftKings lineups. I definitely agree with you on Allen. He's a great QB. I mean a QB that comes to mind. I mean, I have Russell Wilson on a lot of leagues, man. I mean, it just seems like he always dropped to like the 7th or the 8th round, and I feel like he's value at that point, man. Russell Wilson, in my opinion, top 5 QB for fantasy, and it's going to be an interesting game against the Falcons today. That's actually probably the game I'm going to be watching today. I'm pretty limited. I think my only choices for games to watch at 1 are the Falcons, Seahawks, and the Patriots versus Dolphins. I need to get one of those, direct TVs, or Justin was talking about something else too. I definitely got to find a way to watch more games, but I'm really looking forward to seeing how Russell Wilson does today.
Yeah, I'll be watching the red zone. That's like the main thing I'll be watching because when you're in 7 fantasy leagues, I mean, that's like a really fucking good helper right there. Um, Quarterbacks besides Josh Allen that I'm high on this year. I mean, I think honestly, man, I'm not a Cowboys fan at all. They're one of the teams that I hate, but I think Dak's gonna have a huge year, and I have him actually on 3 teams. A lot of talk about the game tonight. I mean, people are saying that it's not gonna happen and stuff because the weather, the air. I think it's gonna happen, but I mean, it's all over the internet. I mean, I hope the game happens tonight. I really do because if it doesn't, it's like how are they gonna when are they gonna put it Tuesday? So, did you hear about that about like the air affecting the game tonight?
The air quality
Yeah.
I heard about, just seen on Twitter like 30 minutes ago that the game is good to go.
Okay, good, because I definitely need that game. Like, I have a lot of people in that game, dude. I have Dak Prescott, I have Cooper Cup, I got Tyler Higbee, I got a lot of people. Yeah, man, I'm trying to think who I think's gonna go off today, dude. Like in every position.
Well,
Um,
one quick thing I wanted to say about
but
quarterbacks real quick, if you want to talk about like really late draft quarterbacks, like maybe your QB2, just like guys who aren't expected to go off but could have some really good games. I mean, Joe Burrow, in my opinion, is one of the most impressive rookie QBs we've had in a while. I feel like he could have a really good year. Um, Even Minshew, bro. I just feel like he's not going to be like a reliable starter every week, but man, the weeks that Minshew is able to find the, be able to throw the ball to Chark effectively, like Minshew's going to have some really good games. So, as far as like late ranked QBs go, I think Joe Burrow, Minshew, fuck, dude, even your boy Kirk Cousins might not be a terrible late pick either.
I don't think so, dude. I mean, I'm Viking. I'm just not a big Cousins guy. I would never have him in fantasy. That's just me. Even if had a really easy matchup, I couldn't do it. I think Danny Dimes is gonna have a good year this year. I don't know about today. He has a tough matchup tomorrow. But yeah, Danny Dimes is in his second year. Like you said, Burrows. I think that the kid has talent and he has a lot of weapons. If he has a healthy AJ Green, he should definitely do good. AJ Green, man, if he stays healthy, he'll be a top 10 guy. It's just he gets hurt, and I have him on one of my teams. I'm actually playing him today because of Galladay's not playing. So hopefully he has a good game. Um, I agree with your Minshew dude pick. I mean, I think that they're going to be a really passing heavy offense. I mean, especially with Fournette not there, they're one of the worst teams in the league. Their defense is trash. I mean, they're going to be behind in a lot of games, so I think they're going to be throwing like crazy. And I think it's going to be Chark City, dude. I think Chark's going to have a huge year. I have him on 3 teams. I think he's one guy to watch out this year. I mean, he had a good year last year in his rookie year, but I mean, this year he's only going to get better. Another person I'm really high on, I only have him on one team, but I know that I'm going against him in your league with against Will Martin, who I'm gonna absolutely fucking destroy. But anyways, I gotta talk about one in this team. It's Scary Terry. I mean, Scary Terry, Terry McLaurin. I was targeting him on all my teams this year. I was off by like one pick. The person in front of me got him. I'm like, oh my god, man. I think he's gonna absolutely fucking kill. But the only thing there is Haskins, man. I mean, Haskins is trash. So I mean, let's see how he does this year. But then again, it doesn't really matter who's quarterback. Just throw him the ball, dude. Terry McLaurin's a freaking playmaker. So, what do you think about Scary Terry?
Yeah, man, old scoring McLaurin. I think he's gonna have a great year, especially with what's his name getting in trouble and getting released. I think you're just gonna see more passing plays out of Washington, and I think that's gonna ultimately definitely benefit McLaurin. It's a shame that he doesn't have a good QB, but I definitely agree. I think he's gonna have a great season. Um, Man, so out of all your leagues, is there a player you have the most of?
Yeah, Kenny Galladay and Chark. I have them on 3 teams. Barkley too. I have Barkley on 3 teams. I've actually never had Barkley before, so having him on 3 teams. I mean, I'm really curious, man, because I know last year he didn't have the best year. He was hurt. Um, but yeah, I have to go with Galladay. I have him on 3 teams. I have Barkley on 3 teams, Chark, and I got Tyler Higbee on 3 teams. What about you? What do you have a lot on your teams?
Yeah, man. So I did a lot of best ball. I have like 12 best ball teams, and man, I was given second pick like 4 times. So I have a lot of Saquon Barkley as well. As far as other running backs, I took a lot of Clyde Edwards-Helaire because man, on DraftKings, he was ranked like 39th or some crazy shit. So like people that didn't know what they're doing, like they were just passing him up all day long. So like when my, eighth or ninth pick came along, it's like, do I want Clyde Edwards-Helaire or Miles Sanders or Eckler? I just went with Helaire almost every single time. So yeah, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and he had a great game on Thursday, man. The kid is the fucking truth. He's a beast. So Saquon Barkley, Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I do have a few Miles Sanders too. It sucks that he's not going to be able to play today, but I think overall he'll have a good season if he can stay healthy.
Yeah, man. I'm looking at the comments right now. Eric Brewer says, "How do you guys feel about Jordan Reed today?" Personally, I don't think he's going to be relevant. I mean, you got George Kittle there, dude. Kittle's, the second best tight end in the league. I don't think Reed's going to do that much. The weather issues for the 49ers Cardinals game, I don't think it's really going to be a big deal. Um, who else? We got Eric Brewer. All the Niner pass catchers are going down. I mean, with Debo not playing, I mean, I'm kind of curious to see how Jimmy G does today. But I mean, I don't think Coleman's playing, so it looks like Mostert's going to be a big play today.
Yeah.
Green, white, Wentz versus Newton. Personally, I think that Newton's going to have a better game than Wentz. With Wentz, man, the guy's talented for sure. He's always hurt, dude. And he just does not have a lot of weapons, man. I mean, Jalen Rager, the rookie, I think he's playing, but I mean, I think he's going to be pretty fucking banged up. I don't know how they're going to fucking use him. And Deshaun Jackson's like hit or miss. Christian Rodriguez asks you, do you play NFL? DFS.
Today will be my first time, my friend.
Nice, man. Yeah, man. I mean, I've done like DraftKings for football, fantasy for football and stuff, but I mean, I'm on 7 money weeks, dude. I just got to focus on that. I haven't done any best ball either. I was told you I was gonna do some best ball, but I haven't had time, and I forgot about I can't do it now because like the Thursday game. I mean, they probably have slates and stuff for like without the players that played on Thursday, but I'm good. I'll just focus on my 7 teams.
So who's a big running back that you really wanted at least one of that you didn't get any of? For me, that's Josh Jacobs. It just didn't work out my way, but I think I'll have a great season.
Yeah, man. We think you know what? I have Jacobs on one team. One guy that I really wanted to get that I did not get. Probably Austin Eckler, man. I think the kid's gonna have a good year, man. I mean, he looks in really good shape, and the only thing that bothers me about him is that he has Tyrod Taylor playing, ahead of him, and Taylor's, Tyrod Taylor is one of the worst quarterbacks in the league, man.
But that's just going to equal more running plays for Eckler.
True, but I mean, they could stack the box. I mean, they're not going to be like really like afraid of the throwing threat. I mean, I kind of want Herbert to get in there. I think Herbert's going to have a pretty good season once he plays. I mean, I was really high on him in Oregon, so. But yeah, I do think that Austin Eckler was the guy that I wanted to get, and he's gonna have a good year. Let's talk wide receivers, dude. I think I mean, this is another guy that I have on 3 teams. Realize that right now, Chris Godwin. I mean, he really carried me last year in fantasy, dude. I mean, he had a huge year last year, and he's one of the reasons why I won 3 of my teams. I mean, he absolutely went off. If Mike Evans does not play today, I mean, he's probably going to finish first in wide receivers. If Mike Evans plays, he's still probably going to finish in the top. This guy's just so good, and it kind of hurt me when Winston left because, I mean, I think Winston is a really good quarterback for fantasy. But with Brady coming over there, at first I didn't really like it. But then the more I dug into it, I'm like, you know what? It's not bad. I think Brady's gonna be good for Godwin because Godwin is, last year he was the best wide receiver after the catch. So it's not like Godwin has to go deep to have a good game. Just throw him the ball and he's gonna make moves. Godwin is a fucking beast, man.
Oh man, I couldn't agree more. I got Godwin in your league actually today, so I'm looking forward to that. It does look like Mike Evans is going to play, but so I got some like Mike Evans isn't really a Tom Brady kind of wide receiver. I feel like Chris Godwin is more of a Tom Brady receiver. So like injury or not, I feel like Godwin is going to be the guy to go off on that team 100%. The only thing that kind of worried me about that Bucks team, dude, is like there's so many great offensive players, and I don't know if there's going to be enough to go around. But if there is one guy in that offense who is going to get the bulk share of the yards, it's going to be Chris Godwin.
Yeah, man, I'm actually making a pretty fucking ballsy move today. One guy that I like a lot this year is Devontae Parker, but he has a really hard matchup today against Stephon Gilmore and the Patriots. I'm playing him in my flex. I think that, I mean, he's just so good of a wide receiver, and they're going to be throwing like crazy because it's Fitzpatrick. I mean, they're not going to be running the ball. I don't think they're going to be behind. I think that even if they double team Parker and Gilmore's on him, which Gilmore's one of the best quarterbacks in the league, I think Parker should still have a good game. I mean, last year, man, a lot of people said before that season that he was a bust and all this stuff. And I mean, if you watch his rookie year, they called him Butterfingers, dude. He could not catch the ball, but Parker has totally turned that around, man. I mean, he's a beast, dude.
Dude, people are saying that this year. Like, I watched a bunch of those, 10 players you shouldn't draft, 10 fantasy busts. Like, I watched a bunch of those videos. A lot of guys had Devontae Parker on there. And you know what, bro? Devontae Parker actually ended up being my highest owned player altogether. I have him in 5 teams out of 15. So I have him in a third of my teams altogether. He just he just kept sliding on through. I don't know if it's because he's on the Dolphins. I think he had like an injury scare or like maybe a few weeks ago, but he's fine now. Yeah. He just kept going late, like super late in all these drafts. So I was able to pick him up. Behind him, my highest owned wide receiver is Tyler Boyd. He's not someone I'm like insanely high on. I mean, if AJ Green, if he's injured, like, and if Tyler Boyd's going to get all the passes, obviously he's going to go off. But it's just kind of how it worked out, man. People were way more willing to draft AJ Green in the drafts I was in. So Tyler Boyd was just always left behind for me. And then third behind him was Galladay. So Devontae Parker, Tyler Boyd, and Galladay were my 3 highest owned receivers.
Yeah, man, I don't get the Devontae Parker hate. He's definitely a guy that I like this year a lot. I think he's going to have a big year. I mean, he had a really good year last year. I think he's going to have a better year this year, especially with Preston Williams there, because Preston Williams was hurt last year. I think with him there, it's only going to help him. Preston Williams is a sleeper too, man. I think that he's going to have a pretty good year. He's a talented wide receiver, and he's the number 2. I mean, it's Parker and him. That's it. There's no one else besides our tight end, Gesicki, who I think is a pretty good tight end as well. I think that he might have a good year. What I was going to say, okay, let's read these comments real quick. So we got TS in here said James White or Bell, full PPR flex. I know Bell. I have Bell all day, man. I don't like James White, dude. I mean, I don't. Our boy Andy in my league, I think you're going against him. I mean, he has a good team. He has, I think, James White as number 2 running back. He has a good team, but I mean, that White as his number 2 is going to hurt him, man. I mean, I don't know if he put someone else in his. I'll have to check, but yeah,
no, he's still got White, but like the thing is, my running back, like me and him are struggling in the exact same spot on our teams. Our running back 2, so he has James White as his running back 2. I actually have James Robinson as my running back 2. I picked him up a few days ago. He's gonna be the starting running back for the Jaguars. Obviously, Chark is the guy in that team, but dude, if James Robinson even puts up 1 touchdown and 50 yards for me, I'll be fucking pumped for that.
Yeah, I'm trying to look right now for like, is there any running backs that he could pick up again? There isn't. There's no one out there. So, I mean, he really has to.
Believe me, bro. I've been looking.
Wow, man. That's James Robinson. Wow. That's okay. We'll see how James Robinson does, man. I'm curious. Let's see. Next comment. We got Jimmy in the house. What up, Jimmy? Tyrod will target the running backs a lot. Yeah, I agree. I do think that he'll target Eckler a lot. I kind of want to see Keenan Allen, have a good year, but I mean, I'm not really sure how he's gonna have a good year with Tyrod Taylor as the quarterback. Next question, we got team out of nowhere. Who do you think I should start this week? Jonnu Smith, Chris Herndon, or Noah Fant? That is an easy thing for me. I got Jonnu Smith, man, on that one. Okay. Noah Fant is gonna be, I think, definitely a big sweeper this year for tight ends, but I like Smith, man. I mean, with no Delaney Walker there, Tannehill loves the tight end. I mean, Jonnu Smith is, dude. I remember last year, the first game that Delaney Walker got hurt, I picked up Jonnu Smith and I played him, and he I think he had like 25 points against me. My brother I played against got pissed. He's like, "Who the hell is this bum?" I just went off. I mean, everyone knows that Smith is a good tight end. He had Delaney Walker there, man. Now he's the only guy there for tight end. Another guy that I like a lot this year is actually on that team is AJ Brown. I mean, AJ Brown was one of the main guys I was targeting this year in every fantasy team. I think that he's last year's Chris Godwin. I think that he's going to have a huge year this year. I think he's going to finish in the top. I mean, I would not be surprised if he finishes top 5 wide receiver. I think that he's a really good wide receiver. He's on a good team. He's a good tight end. He has a good quarterback. Titans are a good team, man. I mean, I think they're going to go off. I think a lot of people are sleeping on Derrick Henry. They're saying that he's a bust. I don't think so at all. How could you say Derrick Henry is a bust? I mean, he's one of the best running backs in the league. He's a monster. I mean, it's hard to tackle the dude. So, I like him.
I got a question for you. Out of all the rookie wide receivers, who do you think has the biggest breakout year? You got CeeDee Lamb. You got Jerry Jeudy. You got Ruggs. You got Justin Jefferson. You got Rager. You got who's the dude on the 49ers? Ayuk?
Yeah.
You got all those guys. Who do you think has the biggest breakout year?
That's tough, dude, because obviously I'm biased and shit because I like Jefferson. I like Jeudy. You're probably going to be kind of shocked when I say this because I hate the Raiders with a passion. But I think the rookie wide receiver that's going to have the breakout year is actually not Ruggs. I think it's going to be Brian Edwards. I think that guy is going to have a huge year. He's a sleeper that I'm really high on this year. I mean, if you've been looking at training camps and stuff, dude, he's been going off, dude. He's going to be the number 2 wide receiver. I mean, you got Renfro there, and I like Renfro. And I mean, what's his name just got hurt too? Tyrell Williams. So
Yeah.
I mean, I think that Edwards is going to take over, dude. I mean, I won't be surprised if he has a big game today. Personally, I like him. I'm not playing him in any teams today just because I don't really have room for him right now. But he is a guy that I would pick up and stash on your bench. I mean, do you know much about him?
A little bit. I wouldn't say he'll go off today, but I do agree with you on like the overall scheme of things. I do think he's good, but like, dude, they spent what, the 13th pick on Henry Ruggs. They're going to be going to him for sure the most.
You think so?
Oh, definitely. I mean, dude. I mean, they picked him. He was the first wide receiver picked, right? Like, they picked him up a bunch. Like, they're high on the guy for sure.
I don't know, man. I'm not the biggest Ruggs fan, dude, but I mean, well, I feel like he could be the next Hayward Bay, dude. I mean, a lot of people were saying that Hayward Bay was a fucking bust, man.
Let me ask you about a running back, because like I feel like a few weeks ago people were way higher on this guy than they are now, and now I actually see that they have him as their running back too, Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah, man. You know, he was good in college. He has a lot of guys there, you know, with Mac and what's his name? He has another dude there. Oh, Hines, and I think there's another guy, Jordan something. But yeah, I don't have many teams. You know, I did not want to get him. I kind of want to sit back on him, see how he does this year. But personally, yeah, I want to stay away from any running back on the Colts. I mean, I don't have anyone on the Colts. I mean, I don't think Phil Rivers is. I think Phil Rivers is washed up. I think he's at the end of his career. Kind of like a thing that I say in UFC, washed up, end of career. I don't think he's gonna have a big year. And T.Y. Hilton, I mean, I like the guy, but he's just always hurt, dude. I mean, that guy slips on a banana peel, is out for the year. So I'm staying away from Jonathan Taylor. One running back that I do like, though, this year that I only have on one team is James Conner, man. I think James Conner is going to have a big year. I mean, he's a cancer survivor. I mean, that's, you know, right there, man. You got to give him a lot of props for playing, man. I think that, I mean, he's the bell cow running back on a good offense. Mike Tomlin is, you know, one of the best coaches, I think, in the league. I like the guy a lot. I mean, obviously I'm biased because he was the Vikings head coach, you know, in the past. But yeah, Big Ben's gonna have a bounce back year. You got Juju, dude, who arguably it could be his last year in Pittsburgh. I like Deontay Johnson as a breakout wide receiver. He's a good wide receiver. Tight end, you know, they don't really have a tight end over there. I mean, he's
Vance
not even
McDonald.
Yeah, I mean,
or didn't they trade him?
I don't even know, man. I can't even think who the tight end for the Steelers is right now, man. See, because he's not fantasy relevant.
It's Vance McDonald still.
Yeah, I wouldn't play him.
Yeah.
Okay. Christian Rodriguez. My top 2 running backs are Eckler and Jacobs. Yeah, those are both really good running backs. Jack Attack, what up? Hill got robbed. So I worked last night. I watched all the fights when I got home. You know, man, it was a close fight. I'm not going to say robbery. I do think that Hill won, but I do think that Watterson, like, you know, was winning the later rounds. I mean, I thought Watterson won the 5th round. But, I mean, I do think Hill won, personally, if you ask me. But, I mean, I think it was a close fight. I mean, Hill, her striking looked really good, but obviously she slowed down. But, I mean, Watterson, man, I don't know, man. I mean, I just can't say Watterson won that fight. But I can't say it was a robbery either. What about you?
Yeah, honestly, I thought Hill won the fight, but I can't call it a robbery, bro, because, all right, so Hill, in my mind, clearly won rounds 1 and 2. Round 3 was a clear Watterson round. And then 4 and 5, I both felt like could have gone either way. So if you want to give Michelle Watterson 3, 4, and 5, like, I can't really argue that at all. But, dude, even if you want to argue Angela Hill 4 rounds to 1, I wouldn't even hate that argument. It's just rounds 4 and 5 were so damn close. And yeah, it's weird, man, because I bet Angela Hill when it was a 3-round fight. And then when it became a 5-round fight, I wanted nothing to do with it, mostly because that gave Michelle Watterson extra time to find the neck, even though Angela Hill did a great job stuffing takedowns. And I also knew Angela Hill slowed down later in fights. So it was just a complete like swing and who I thought would win. And even if you watch how this fight played out, Angela Hill won the first 2 rounds, Michelle won the 3rd round. So if we were talking about a 3-round fight, Angela Hill would have won that shit, but that's not how it went. But yeah, you can't call it a robbery in my opinion.
Yeah, I do think the Hill won, but it is what it is. I bet on Hill, and she lost, but I do think the Hill's improved a lot. I mean, I used to call her a fucking jobber, dude. And now she's a really good fighter in the division, man. She looked good. Takedown defense looked good. Her striking looked good. It's just cardio with her, but I mean, if she fixes that, dude, I mean, because I do think that she won her last 2 fights against Claudia and Watterson. I'm really curious to see who they give her next fight. Maybe give her a step down competition, but yeah, I'm curious. More comments about fantasy. We got 29 minutes left, so yeah, I cannot wait. We got Christian Rodriguez. Word they did in UFC. Yeah, I mean, Ottoman was a guy that I thought that was going to win the fight, and then I switched my pick. Ottoman killed him. I mean, what else do you want to talk about? Next fight or next car, or do you want to say anything about the Worthy fight?
Not really, man. Football podcast.
Okay. So flex we got for Carr rushing in. We got James White, John Brown, or Jalen Reagor.
John Brown.
Yeah, man. That's a tough one because I do think that Reagor, if he wasn't hurt, I would pick him in a heartbeat. But yeah, I don't know. That's tough, man. It's hard to pick John Brown because he's kind of boom or bust. I would never pick James White. I'm gonna go with Reagor. Even if he's a little banged up, I think that he'll have a decent game. Magic Tree, we got Hilton or OBJ. I mean, that's tough, man, because I am not high in OBJ at all. I don't have many teams. I think that he's overrated. I think he's a prima donna. I don't want him on my teams. I don't. Like last year, he was a bust. He was 100% a bust. This year, I said to myself, if I could get him as a 3rd wide receiver, because I play a lot of my biggest money league, we play 3 wide receivers. So I was thinking about getting him as my 3rd wide receiver, but then it was between him and Chark. And I was like, oh my, number 1, Chark should not be a wide receiver number 3. I mean, he should be a number 2. So I'm getting Chark all day. But yeah, that's a tough one, man. It really is. But I'm gonna go with Beckham because I don't trust Hilton, man. I don't trust either dude. But I'll go with Beckham.
So I'll say for like the season, like who you would rather have on your team, I would definitely say Odell Beckham Jr. For today, though, I would say T.Y. Hilton. I actually got him in a few DraftKings lineups. He's another guy I was looking at. Historically, always goes off on week 1. I feel like against the Jacksonville defense, I mean, I feel like he's slated for a great game today. But as far as the whole scheme of things goes for the whole season, I would rather have Beckham on my team for sure.
For today, who would you play, Beckham or Hilton?
Today, I'd rather have T.Y. Hilton.
Yeah?
Yep.
Yeah, so next question, we got Nathan Frederick. What up? We got Cam Newton, Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, dude, that's an interesting one. Aaron Rodgers is going against the Vikings. We got Cam is going against the Dolphins. Yeah, man. Man, I used to be a really big Aaron Rodgers guy. I thought that he was one of the best quarterbacks in the league. I think that he's kind of washed up. I think he's on the decline. I think he'll have a good year. Personally, I did not take him many teams, but I mean, I'm a big Jordan Love guy. I mean, if one thing happens to Rodgers, I mean, it's all love. I mean, it's obviously an injury. They're gonna bench Rodgers unless he's not. I mean, I don't think he's gonna like go through a really bad funk and they're gonna sit him. But I mean, he is injury prone for sure. But personally, today, Cam Newton, Aaron Rodgers, I got to go with Cam. I'm a big Cam guy, dude. He's one of my favorite players in the league. I'm biased. I love Cam Newton. Like, I don't know how the Panthers got rid of him, dude. I like Teddy Bridgewater, but come on, dude. Cam Newton's talented, man. I know that he was hurt last year, and I know that he's washed up, but he's still a talented quarterback, man. And I mean, I think that he has some weapons there, man. With Edelman, N'Keal Harry, I mean, that guy is a stud. I think that he's gonna have a big year this year. Yeah, I like Cam Newton. What about you?
I agree. Got to go with Cam Newton here. And I mean, not only just overall, I mean, definitely today based on the matchup. And I looked into it and I feel like every time Green Bay and Minnesota play, Green Bay is always going more in the Aaron Jones route than the Aaron Rodgers route. And I mean, dude, it's so crazy. Like watching the draft a few months ago and seeing how the Packers didn't draft a wide receiver when they clearly need one. It's like, I mean, dude, who does he have to throw to after Devontae Adams?
Yeah, I mean, I like
Marquez
Lazard.
Valdez Scantling.
Lazard might actually have a
Yeah,
decent year this
maybe.
year. Yeah, so we have 24 minutes left. I'm deciding what we should talk about. So you want to talk about who we think is going to have a big day today in every position, or do you want to talk about our teams and say what we have in our teams? It's up to you.
Either way, I'm down. Either way.
Yeah, man. So let's talk about.
Yeah,
Go
go
ahead.
ahead.
Go ahead. Let's talk about who we have, or not who we have. Let's talk about who we think's going to have a big game today in every position. So let's go off with quarterbacks. Kelvin, give us some quarterbacks you think are going to go off today.
Quarterbacks are, I mean, dude, we just said it. Cam Newton, I think he could have a really good game against Miami. Dude, Lamar Jackson is probably going to go off completely against the Browns. Looking at all these quarterbacks here. Yeah, I mean, I'm interested to see how Tom Brady does. I feel like he could have a great game. I feel like Roethlisberger is going to do really well tomorrow in his comeback. Those are all the ones that come to mind right now. As far as who I have in my fantasy leagues today, I have Russell Wilson in my league. I have Josh Allen in Shaq's league, and then I have Carson Wentz in Justin's league.
Yeah, kind of like we touched earlier. I think that Josh Allen, he's one of my guys that's gonna have a big year, and then also a big week one today. I think he has a great matchup against the Jets. I think Drew Lock is a quarterback that we've been talking about. I think that he's a huge sleeper for me for have a good year. He has a tough matchup against Tennessee, but I still think he's going to do good. I think he's going to have a big week one. I'm curious to see how his season unfolds. Another guy that I like, obviously, he's not playing today because he's the backup. Man, I know that Drew Brees is a really good quarterback and stuff, but something's telling me, dude, that Winston's going to be the guy pretty soon. I don't think they're going to bench Brees or anything, but he's so injury prone. This is his last year. He's retiring. I don't know how people are saying that Tyson Hill is going to beat out Winston. That is a joke. Winston is a good quarterback. I don't care what anyone says. He definitely has a problem like intercepting, but I think that he's talented. He's young. He's like 25 years old. I think that if anything happens to Breeze, which personally I think it will happen this year, Winston's going to have a huge year in fantasy. Another guy I think is going to have a good day today is Kyler Murray, dude. I think that he's going to ball against the Niners, and I like the Niners, man. I think they're one of the best teams in the league, but Kyler Murray is going to absolutely fucking destroy that secondary. One more quarterback I'm trying to look real quick. Trubisky, yeah, right. I mean, Trubisky actually feasts against the fucking Lions. I mean, he does, dude. Every time he plays the Lions, he feasts, but I can't do it. Trubisky's a fucking joke. Yeah, you know what, man? This is kind of a ballsy one right here, but I kind of think that Darnold, dude, might actually have a decent game today. I have to call him Mono because he had Mono, and a lot of people used to call him Mono last year. I think that he has some weapons this year, and I think that he's not a bad quarterback. I just think that he had a shitty fucking offense last year, man. This year, Crowder's emerged for sure. He's a good wide receiver. Perriman's good. They got Herndon. They got Le'Veon Bell, who I think is going to have a better year. I just hate their coach. I think Adam Gase is the worst coach in the league. But I do think that Darnold will have a bounce back year. Running backs for this week, who do you think, man, is going to have – say running backs for the year and then say running backs for this week.
Well, quickly, I just want to say I like that Sam Darnold. I was able to get him in like the 18th and the 19th round ball drafts, so that was really nice to have him as like my QB3 in like 3 of my leagues because I really don't think Darnold's as bad as some people make him out to be. But to the running backs, man, as far as today, I actually have a bet on Josh Jacobs to score a touchdown. I think he's going to have a really good game today against the Panthers. I would have said Clyde Edwards-Helaire, but that was a couple days ago. Who else do we got? I mean, you got to think always Christian McCaffrey is going to go off. But if you want to play him on DraftKings, you got to pay fucking $10,000 of your salary to get him. Eckler, I got him in fantasy. I think he has a great game. If you would have asked me 2 weeks ago, I would have said Jonathan Taylor was going to go off today, but now I don't even know. Interested to see how Todd Gurley does in Atlanta. I feel like he could have an all right game. Again, I would have said David Johnson. I said I like the fit of David Johnson in Houston, and he had a pretty good game. He got some points for me. I'll say it again, man. My boy James Robinson on the Jacksonville Jaguars. I think he's I think he's better than people will give him credit for, and I think he might break out today.
Yeah, man. One guy that I'm really high on, dude, not only for this year, but for today. I mean, I think that this kid is going to have a big year, is Antonio Gibson, dude. It's all him. I mean, I don't think that Bryce Love's going to be a fucking factor at all. I think he's going to have a big season this year. I like the guy. I'm really curious to see how he does this year. Um, Obviously, you touched on it, McCaffrey, Josh Jacobs. I mean, that guy's going to be, probably a top 5 running back this year. He should have a good game. I mean, Edwards had a good game Thursday night. I wish he would have gotten that last touchdown. That would have, he would have had like 26 points, and that pissed me off. Another guy that I like, he has a tough matchup today, but a lot of people are down on this guy, man, and I don't get it. Is Chubb, man? Nick Chubb is one of the best running backs in the league. I know Kareem Hunt is there, and I know they just signed Hunt for a couple more years. And to be honest, Hunt is a good running back, but it's Chubb. Chubb's the guy. It's not Kareem Hunt. Kareem Hunt's the backup. Chubb is one of the best running backs in the league. He's the bell cow running back. Let's be honest. Baker Mayfield is a fucking terrible quarterback. I mean, yes, Baker is going to have a better year than he did last year, but I still think that Chubb is going to have a big year this year. And I know he's going against your team today, and Ravens are one of the best fucking defenses against the run. So, I mean, it's going to be a tough match for Chubb, but I still think Chubb's going to have a big day today. Obviously, we touched on Boston Scott. He should have a good game today. Yeah, man, that's pretty much it. I mean, I'm sure you'll agree with me on this one. I think that Dobbins is going to have a big year this year. I think that halfway through the season, he's going to be the starter, dude. And I like Mark Ingram a lot, but I think Dobbins is going to take over. One more guy that I just saw right now that I honestly, man, this guy he's one of the biggest like names in fantasy football, man. A lot of people talk good about this guy. A lot of people talk bad about this guy. I think that Todd Gurley will have a huge year this year, man. I think that he's going to finish as a top 5 running back. I'm sure no one was going to agree with me with that, but I think that with the new offense, he's on a better offense. He has a better quarterback. He has a better offensive line. He has guys that like playmakers on the outside. I think that Gurley is going to have a huge year this year. If the key word is if he stays healthy, because we know how it is with Gurley, man. I mean, with Mick Gay as his head coach, I hated that guy, man. I think he is one of the worst head coaches in the league. I fucking cannot stand him at all. I think that everything he thinks he's like the fucking like the coolest coach in the league and the best coach in the league, and he's fucking a jabroni. So Sean McVay, if you're watching this, you're a fucking retard.
Yeah.
What do you think about Todd Gurley?
Oh man, I'm all for the Todd Gurley love, but top 5, that might be pushing it a little too far. But yeah, I think I'll have a good season if he stays healthy. I'm trying to look at like the back half of the rankings right now to see if there's any like big sleepers. When I saw that DeAndre Swift was dealing with an injury and before they picked up Adrian Peterson, I was actually looking at maybe picking up Kerryon Johnson in a trade or something like that. But now it looks like Swift is okay. Now they do have Adrian Peterson. So, like, I don't even know what that backfield's going to be doing. I have DeAndre Swift in your league. I'm starting James Robinson over him today just because I feel like percentage of touches. I mean, DeAndre Swift might get less than 50% of the runs today, whereas James Robinson is probably going to get 90% of the runs today.
Yeah. One thing I want to say real quick, we still have wide receivers to talk about, tight ends, kickers, and defense. We have 16 minutes left. I want to say something real quick as I thought about it. Everyone, put in the comments below, what's your favorite fucking food to eat, man, during football, man? I mean, for me, I'm thinking about getting some pizza today or something. Like, you have to have some pizza, some wings, man, some fucking beer. Like, I don't know. Kel, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm a wings guy for sure. You got to have wings in football. Wings, beer in football, and then maybe some other recreational drugs, but that's about it.
Yeah, not for me, but for you. But yeah, let us know in the comments below, guys. So for wide receivers, give us some wide receivers you think you're gonna have a breakout year, and also gonna have a big week 1.
Ooh, let me pull up these wide receiver rankings real quick. I'll tell you, I think the possibility of Chris Godwin being the number 1 wide receiver in the league this year is definitely possible. I'm super excited to see how DeAndre Hopkins is going to do in Arizona. I see Mike Evans is ranked 8th on this website, but I couldn't disagree with that more, man. Just because like I said earlier, I feel like he's just not a Tom Brady wide receiver. I feel like Godwin is going to get the majority of the touches. I feel like even Gronkowski and fucking OJ Howard are going to get a lot of touches too. So I love the guy. I'm high on Mike Evans, but I just feel like we're going to see, and it's not going to be because of him not playing well. I just feel like we're probably going to see some of the lower stats we've seen from him in recent years. As far as who I think is going to go off, I think Juju should have a really good year. I'm high on Calvin Ridley. I got him in your league. I'm pretty high on DJ Moore just because, who do they have after him? I know they just picked up Robbie Anderson, and I think I read that the Panthers head coach or the Panthers receivers coach used to be Robbie Anderson's coach, and like people are looking into that. I don't know about that though. I think DJ Moore is going to clean house for the Panthers receiving wise. Of course, CMC as well, but McLaurin, you mentioned Shark earlier. Here's someone we haven't mentioned, man. Cortland Sutton. I feel like he could have a really good year. As far as, let me scroll to the real far back of the rankings here for a sleeper. Let's see. Man, it's funny. I actually thought Randall Cobb was going to do a lot more in the game on Thursday, but he had one catch at the end of the game.
Yeah, he didn't do anything.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, man. What do you think? Who are some sleepers? Who are some big breakouts?
Yeah, man. Well, a lot of the people I think are going to have a good year are obviously guys that I have in my fantasy team, guys that I targeted. Kenny Galladay, man. I think he'll be back next week. I don't think it's a big injury or anything. I think that he could have played today, but they just want to be, very cautious about it. Chark, obviously, like we mentioned, Scary Terry, another guy. Sutton's another guy. Like you mentioned, Ridley. I think Ridley will have a big year. AJ Brown. Another guy that I talked about a little bit, but no one's really talking about, man, is AJ Green, dude. AJ Green, dude, is one of the best wide receivers in the league. It just is his injury, man. If he stays healthy, especially with Burrows as quarterback, dude, let's be honest, dude. This is the best quarterback he's had in a long time. Andy Dalton, dude. Burrow's way better than Danny Dalton. So if he stays, and he has Tyler Boyd there too, man. It's not like they're gonna be fucking double teaming him, dude. They got Boyd there. They got Ross. They got another guy. I think it's like a rookie dude. I forget what his name is. Yeah, he is going to be decent too. And then they got one of the best running backs in the league, who we didn't talk about, Mixon. I like Mixon. I didn't get Mixon on any teams, but I do like him. Yeah, man. Looking at the ranking stuff as well. I like Gallup too. Michael Gallup should have a big year this year. Really big offense, and I know he's they have 3 really good wide receivers there, but I think he'll do good. Another dude that I'm really high on this year is, obviously I'm biased because I'm a Vikings fan, but you got to go with Adam Thielen, dude. Adam Thielen's talented. He's one of the best wide receivers in the league. He should have a big year. Justin Jefferson, watch out for him. I think he'll have a good year as well. Who else? Yeah, like I already mentioned, dude, Brian Edwards, and I think N'Keal Harry. Those are 2 guys to look out for. Another guy, man, another guy too, is I think that Crowder should have a good year, man. And I want you guys to really look out for that rookie on the Niners, dude, Brandon Ajuka. I think that's how you pronounce it. He should have a good rookie year. Tight ends, I'll go first this one. Man, dude, this is like my favorite position, man, for fantasy. And a lot of people think this is like the worst position and shit. I am really high, man. Really high, dude, on Hayden Hurst this year. I think that he's going to have a huge year for tight ends. Another guy I'm high on is Tyler Higbee. Both of them are going to have big years. And then obviously the guy that we all like. Honestly, this is a ballsy fucking projection right here. And I actually think that you'll agree with me because you're a Ravens fan. But I think Mark Andrews finishes as the number 1 tight end in the league this year, dude. I really do. Kelsey and Kittle are on a different level, but I think that Mark Andrews is in that level, man. I think they're the 3 best tight ends in the league, and I think that Andrews is going to finish number 1, man. Let's be honest, dude. Andrews was, the 2nd best tight end last year? He did better than Kittle, dude. I had him and Kittle on the same team, and I traded Kittle because I thought Andrews was just fucking going off, man. I like Kelsey, dude. Kelsey is a legit tight end. But I personally think Andrews will have a better year than him. What about you?
Yeah, I have Mark Andrews as my number 3 behind Kittle and Kelsey. So for my 3 fantasy teams, I went a different route in each one. I have an elite tight end in one, a mid-tier tight end in the other, and then kind of like a back end tight end one. I got Kittle in your league. I got Engram in Shaq's league, and then I got Jasicki in my league. So I mean, Jasicki is I think he'll have a good year, especially just with like how many non-weapons the Dolphins have. Like I know you mentioned Preston earlier, but like I don't know. I feel like it'll just be the Devontae Parker and Jasicki show. So I mean, for getting him in the whatever I got him in like the 11th round, I think Jasicki will show up for me. He's like kind of a sleeper. Might finish in like the top 10 for tight ends. As far as the rest of them, man, I mean, let me see. I mean, I'm not Hood. I'm not high on what's his name on the Saints, Jared Cook this year, just because I mean they added Emmanuel Sanders. I think just too much to go around. I mean he's not going to match the numbers he put up last year. I know he's actually like what is he ranked, like top 10 tight end. I'm actually going to say Jared Cook won't end up as a tight end. I think Jasecki will come in and swoop that spot, or even Fant will come in and swoop that spot, or even you were mentioning Jonnu Smith. He might come in and swoop that top 10 spot as well.
Yeah, man. There's a lot of good tight ends out there, dude. I mean, I'm really curious to see how Gronk does. I don't know if he's gonna have a big year, but I'm really curious to see. Hunter Henry should have a big year. Um, yeah, Austin Hooper. Yeah, it's just tough, man. There's a lot of good tight ends out there, dude. Let's wrap this up. We only have 8 minutes left, and I mean, one of the best feelings in the world is when you're fucking going through your teams and just fucking going like, doing your last minute tinkering and stuff. It's fucking fun. Kickers and stuff and defenses. Personally, for defenses, I stream defenses every week, so that's why I really didn't really care about drafting a defense that early, because I look at matchups and every week I usually have a different defense unless that same defense I have is cooking killing it. So for today, I mean, honestly, man, I mean, I think that the Patriots defense should be good. I think that I played the Chiefs defense. They got like 6 points, something like that. Yeah, man. For defenses, I don't really. I stream. And you have a strategy or anything for defenses?
For defenses, I mean, not really. I just took whatever the best available was at the time in my draft. And I mean, defense isn't really that important, is it?
No, not really.
I feel like if anything, kickers might be fucking a little more important.
Yeah, so one of my friends right now, he's asking for some advice on his team. This is a ballsy move that I'm telling him to do. So he has Higbee as a starting tight end, okay? He has Galladay. He cannot play Galladay, so he's trying to tell me who to put in his flex. He put in Curtis Samuels. I told him right now, looking at his bench, do not put in Samuels. Put in Hayden Hurst. I don't know how he has Hurst. He has two really good tight ends. Play Hurst as your flex. I mean, I would do that in a heartbeat. I would not want to play Curtis Samuels in my fucking flex. You're telling me that you have Hurst and Higbee? You play both of them. I mean, you're not going to do that every week, obviously, because you have Galladay, but you play both of them. So we'll see if he listens to me. But I told him right now to put Hurst as flex. Kickers, I mean, yeah, I mean, I like Butker, on the Chiefs. I have him on, I think, most of my teams. I like Tucker, obviously. Who else do I like? I like Lutz. I mean, they're the best kickers in the league. I mean, what's his name on the Vikings? Bailey should have a big game, a big year. What do any of you want to say anything about kickers?
Prater on the Lions. That's who I got in my league. Who else do I got? I ended up with some pretty shitty kickers. I wanted at least one Justin Tucker because that's my boy. But I got Siebert on the fucking Browns. I got Elliott on the Eagles, and then I got Prater on the Lions.
All right, man. Let's do our last minute breakouts for the year. Last minute breakouts for the year. We already mentioned it a lot. I already talked about it a lot. I got to go with the guys that I've been talking about like crazy on this, and to everyone. DJ Chark is one of my breakouts of the year. Josh Allen, one of my breakouts of the year. Scary Terry's up there as well. I think Dak Prescott is going to be a huge quarterback this year in fantasy. And one more guy that I think that's going to go off this year is, yeah, man, this is a tough one for me just because I'm not the biggest fan of them. But like we mentioned earlier, I think that Drew Lock will have a huge year this year for quarterbacks.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. One wide receiver that we didn't mention all podcasts, who I'm pretty high on. I have good ownership on him. That's Robert Woods. He's pretty consistent. Yeah, I mean, I like the guy a lot. I feel like I mean, I just like him better than Cup. So I mean, like every time I had the option to draft either one, I just felt like going Robert Woods' side every single time. I just feel like I don't know. I've always been big on Robert Woods.
Yeah, I have him watching one of my teams, so I forgot to mention him. Yeah, he will have a big year. Anything else you want to say, man, before we go?
Let me think for a sec. I just don't want to leave out any great players. Will Fuller had a really good game on Thursday. So anybody that took him in like rounds fucking like 8 or 9 and got them on their bench, got him on their bench. That's a nice pickup. I mean, he's far and away their best wide receiver right now, right?
Yeah, hey, we forgot to mention probably, top 3 wide receiver in the league. I actually had this guy in 3 teams. I totally forgot to mention him. But we got a Falcons guy in the house, so we got to talk about him. I do think that Ridley's going to have a big year. I think that he could finish top 10. But Julio Jones, dude, I mean, the guy does it every year, man. I usually draft Julio Jones in every year, man. I mean, he's a guy that I'm super high on. I love the guy, man. Julio Jones is one of the best wide receivers in the league. I mean, he's the best wide receiver outside of Michael Thomas, I think. But for projections in this year, I actually think that the best wide receiver will be Chris Godwin. I mean, I think you said that as well. I think Godwin will finish number 1 in wide receivers. I still think that Kenny G is going to be in the top 5 as well. I actually have a $200 bet with one of my friends. I said that Godwin will have a better fantasy year than Hopkins. So it should be a ballsy bet. It should be a tough one, but I do think that Godwin will finish. One more question we got in here. So as my flex, we got team out of nowhere. In Dynasty, would you start Dobbins, Akers, or Scotty Miller? I would start Dobbins all day.
For today?
No, he says yeah. Oh, in Dynasty.
Oh, in Dynasty.
So Dobbins.
Yeah.
I mean, Akers has potential for sure, but I don't trust McVay, dude. I mean, he's probably going to want to play all 3 of those running backs over there, man. So I'm good. With Dobbins, I mean, the guy is going to be the starting running back for the Ravens probably next year. So they'll probably get rid of Ingram. All right, is that it? We got 2 minutes left.
I think that's good, man. I think we said a lot. Yeah, I have Sammy Watkins on my bench in one of my leagues, and he went off on Thursday. So I'm kind of pissed I didn't start him, but who knows? Maybe my starter will do even better.
Yeah, man. We'll be back, man. I mean, if you guys want us to do this every Sunday, let us know. And this was fun. And I hope everyone does good and fancy today, unless you're going against me. Because if you're going against me, it's going to be downhill for there. So see you guys. Later, guys.